Hey everybody, welcome back. Geekdom Gaming here, part of A Week in Geekdom. Geo, talking with you about all the releases from Limited Run that were dropped for the Limited Run Games 3, or, sort of a wordplay there on E3. And they revealed over 30 games. Now, I'm not going to go over them in detail because, trust me, there are a lot of videos on the subject already. As soon as the stream ended, videos started popping up, some good, some bad, some people complaining, other people indifferent. There's a lot out there, but instead I just wanted to focus on what I'm excited for. They started out the announcements with River City Girls 2, which we already knew about, but still really exciting. I love the first game, and I love the River City franchise. The next one on the list is Undermine, which is described as this action-adventure roguelike game. I wanted to add, because I do see this a lot online, each game announcement is somebody's favorite. So I don't go in with a negative mindset like, oh, this is garbage, oh, this is trash. Instead, if I don't like it, I just move on with my life, instead of just dwelling on the fact that why would they release this crappy game or whatever. Man, I ain't got time for that. So instead, let's just focus on the positives and what I like from the announcements and what I'm probably getting. POWERSLAVE Exhumed is awesome. This first-person game shooter with Egyptian mythology and Karnak and mummies and monsters and all that. I'm here day one for this. The next one was the Blade Runner, the PC game. It was a point-and-click game, and it ran parallel to the first Blade Runner movie, which was awesome. I am super excited for this. I will be grabbing this. I love point-and-click PC games, and I love the Blade Runner franchise, so yes, you already got me with this. The next one here is Spider's Source, which is, I believe, it's a way-forward game, but it started, I think it's an Apple Arcade game, and now it's getting a physical release on Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox. Lunark, coming to the Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox. This is a pulp adventure set in the midst of a rebellion against a totalitarian regime. Lunark is a 2D cinematic platformer. Looks alright. Shadowrun Trilogy. If I remember correctly, this one is a mishmash of like cyberpunk with fantasy elements. It's an RPG. Pretty cool. Again, not high in my priority list, but still fun. Who knows? This is interesting. Coco Polo, if I'm pronouncing this correctly. Coco Polo, Go-Go Coco Polo is a DSiWare game. So that means it's digital on the DS and 3DS. So now that the eShop is closing down on that system, along with the Wii U, it's really awesome that Limited Run is rescuing this digital-only title and putting it out physically for the 3DS. I will be grabbing a copy of this simply because I'm a huge fan of the 3DS, and this just has my aesthetics written all over. I love crazy, kooky, colorful games like this. SKELATTAck. I believe this was originally an Xbox game, and now it's coming out on the Switch and PS4, a action platformer. You play as this little skeletal dude. You're trying to save the underworld. Looks alright. Not necessarily my cup of tea, but looks interesting. Coming soon for Xbox, Doom 64. That's pretty awesome. Then we got Rendering Ranger R2. I had to pull up some articles on this because I don't think I've ever played this. I know it's a Super Famicom game, and it was only released in Japan, obviously, and now it's coming for the first time to all these platforms, PlayStation, Switch, and SNES. They're gonna replicate the cart. That's awesome. The cartridge. So yeah, this side-scrolling action game, pretty legendary if you're into those games. I kind of want to check it out. A Boy and His Blob, this was previously announced, so good to see it back, I guess. Now this is interesting. Konami's Anniversary Collection series continues. We had the Castlevania one, the Contra. I really thought we were going to get the Konami Castlevania Advance collection of the mobile Castlevania games. Sadly, we didn't get that, but we did get the Arcade Classics Collection. I'm sharing my screen here. This was released back in 2019. Konami celebrating its 50th anniversary, blah, blah, blah. And it includes a Haunted Castle, which it's the arcade version of the second Castlevania game. Typhoon, Nemesis, and Vulcan Venture, or Gradius and Gradius 2. Life Force or Salamander, Thundercross, Scramble, and Twin B. So yeah, I'm excited for this. I think I'm going to pick this up. I love a good arcade collection. I love arcade gaming. All that retro stuff, I'm all up for that. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, we all knew this was already teased about. A physical edition of the first Shantae game on PlayStation 4 and 5. Again, a little disappointed because we're celebrating the anniversary of Shantae, I believe 20 years. So it would have been nice for a surprise drop of, hey, we're gonna restock and reprint Shantae's Curse. But I didn't get my hopes up. It didn't surprise me that it was not announced. But still, it would have been fun. Speaking of Shantae, the 20 Years of Shantae, made in collaboration with the creators, of 10-inch statue looking really nice. If you are collecting Shantae games for the PlayStation 5, the deluxe editions, I think, came with acrylic stands of each iteration of the character, and those you can display in the statue there on the base, which is really cool. Kind of an interactive way to tie in the previous purchases to the statue. Maybe I'm interested. Depends on the price on this figurine slash collectible slash statue. So we'll see. All depends on the price. I might be willing to give it a shot because I do like Shantae. She's a great character, and the games are super fun. But again, 20 years. Could have been nice to have a reprint announcement of Pirate's Curse for the Switch. Garden Story is, I believe, it's an RPG. It was released a while back on the eShop, if I remember correctly, so it's finally getting a physical edition. That's great if you like that game. This caused a controversy on YouTube and social media because yeah, these games aren't great, but you know what? I don't care. I'm not gonna get them. I move on with my life. Bill & Ted's Excellent Retro Collection, the 2 video games, whatever. It is what it is. Now this is probably the highlight for me out of everything that I've been chatting about in this video. DODONPACHI Resurrection. Hell frickin' yes. I am a huge fan of cave shoot-em-ups and just their games overall. I love every single one of them, and I wish I could own them. I've played through a few of them via emulation, and I've always wanted to own them. I didn't have the 360. They released a cave shmup collection, if I remember correctly. So this is awesome. I can't wait for this to finally own a physical copy of DODONPACHI. That is, I think, my favorite shoot 'em up of all time. Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. This was announced last year. It's another FMV game. I'm sorry, I'm not into it. Now this is interesting. We already knew about this. Shredder's Revenge TMNT, the new game. We already saw this announcement. I tweeted about it. You get the covers here for Xbox, PlayStation 4, and Switch. Reversible covers, sprite stickers, art booklet, all that fun stuff. Now they teased, they didn't show anything because they're going to reveal it later because the game is coming out pretty soon on the digital front. But they did reveal the contents, or they mentioned it at least, of the different editions that are going to be coming out. One of them is a VHS style classic edition, which will have the game and a steelbook. Now there will be a fully loaded Ultimate Collector's Edition, which will have the Shredder action figure from Playmates, which I do have a screenshot right here in all FMB filter glory. It'll have a strategy guide and a mini arcade replica. The next thing announced was Blossom Tales 2. I never played the first one, and the second one, which has a lot of like puzzles and it's like top-down RPG and all that. with pixel artwork. It looks fine. Not something that I'm interested in. Enclave, I believe that's how you say it, right? Coming out for the Switch and PlayStation 4 and 5. This was an Xbox 3D action adventure game, if I remember correctly. I do know it was Xbox only back in like 2001 or 2002. So yeah, action role-playing game, it says here on my screen. American Hero, another FMV game. Prize Fighter, another FMV game. They went heavy on this, and I could care less, honestly. Bats, the physical edition, Bloodsucker Anti-Terror Squad. I pulled this picture of the collector's edition. Looks pretty interesting. I like that there's a soundtrack, but nothing else interests me. The game looks fun, though. It is coming out on the Switch and PlayStation 4. Here is the announcement for Night Trap, which is a pretty famous FMV game. I do recognize that, at least, although it's super cheesy and outdated. Night Trap is coming out on PlayStation 5. Pretty silly to have such a small title on a big platform like the PlayStation 5. But cool. This was a surprise. D goes for a lot of money if you're getting it for the Sega Saturn and the PlayStation. Oh, and the 3DO. Duh, it says it right there. PC and 3DO. So the physical edition for the Saturn goes for a ton of money. So this is great when you can do that. It lowers the price a little bit, right? It's a shame that it's not going to be a PlayStation game. I would have liked that. I would have picked it up. But I'm still kind of considering getting it, even though it's PC. Because I do have a PC here, and I could play it. I don't know. I'm interested. Next up, I always mispronounce this shmup classic. It is ESP Galuda 2. Finally coming out on the Switch as well. Another cave classic. I'm super excited. This is a day one. Same with DODONPACHI. I'm all up for this. Hopefully they continue releasing more cave games physically on the Switch. Thank you. Thank you so much. Glover, I think Glover, I would have liked to have seen it remastered, I guess, for modern consoles. Apparently it's not as easy as it seems, or the code was lost or something like that. I might be mistaken on that. But this is sort of a remastered or redone N64 cartridge, which is interesting. Frogun. Not much to say about it. Not my cup of tea, but looks cool. Looks kind of neat. Tetris Effect Connected. Now, if I didn't already have it on VR for the Oculus Quest, I'd be super excited, because this is one of the best versions of Tetris that you will ever play. It is one of the most emotional games that you will ever come across on any platform, and I highly recommend you guys play it, whether it be through PlayStation or the VR version, which is, I think, the superior version, or you play it on the Switch physically when it comes out. I highly recommend picking it up. It is an amazing experience. Death Wish Enforcers is coming out. This is a co-op side-scrolling action game, and what's fun about it is that you're seeing the characters that you can play are famous movie characters from the 70s and 80s with exploit movies and cop dramas and all that stuff. Like, you get your Charles Bronson and Clint Eastwood type characters, obviously parodies of those classic movie characters, in this side-scrolling action / beat 'em up with really cool artwork. I am really excited for this, and I think this is the dark horse of the whole thing, in my honest opinion, just because it looks so friggin' insane. I'm all up for that. And the last physical edition announced is Doom Eternal. Everybody went wild with it, myself included. This is awesome. I'm totally gonna get it. Even though I do have a PlayStation 4 and I do have an Xbox One S, I could get the game there, but I prefer collecting for the Switch physically, so I kind of want to get the handheld experience of Doom Eternal. So I am super excited for that. I can't wait. Overall, I thought it was a pretty solid run of 30 plus games. I already mentioned the ones I'm interested. Here's the full list again, just for the sake of it. But the titles I'm most excited for would be Blade Runner, Doom Eternal, ESP Galuda 2, Dodonpachi, Gogo, Coco Polo, the Konami Arcade Classics, River City Girls 2, the TMNT game. So around 8 or 9 games. I'm probably forgetting something that I mentioned earlier, like freaking POWERSLAVE Exhumed. So yeah, around 8 or 9 games. Super excited for them. I know some people were upset because you had stuff like the Bill and Ted games, which did not necessarily warrant any sort of release, but it was still fun, in my opinion, to have it like that. Again, I'm personally not interested in it. I think they're bad games, and you know what? I'm not going to play them, and I just move on. I don't need to cause a fuzz online and all that stuff. Just a quick little observation that I noticed on social media in regards to these announcements. But yeah, super excited. How about you guys? Which games are you looking forward to the most from Limited Run in the year of 2022, and I'm sure 2023, as most of these games are probably not going to be out by the time the year's over. So let me know in the comments section down below. Thank you everybody for tuning in. God bless. Stay safe out there. Catch you guys on the next video.